toast to their career.
The perfect combination, boy.
Hip hard legends in the South.
This is sports fans' only home for the hottest sports show around. These guys are on fire.
You're now listening to KJ and Shawn Mack. Now let's talk some damn sports.
All right, I'm Shawn Mack back with another segment, and this time it's going to be a little different. This is going to be called The Gift and the Curse of LeBron. You know, I sit back and I watch a lot of LeBron games, a lot of people that he's played with, and I followed him his whole career straight out of high school, as a lot of us have done. And, you know, I always like to look at people before they came with LeBron, during LeBron, and then after LeBron. So here's going to be the criteria. We're going to go with Chris Bosh, Dwyane Wade, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis. And just to make it a little fun, we're going to go with Russell Westbrook as well. We're going to see what they did. These are going to be the parameters of the gift and the curse. 3 years before playing with LeBron, the time playing with LeBron, and 3 years after playing with LeBron. And we're going to check their stats. In my belief, in my mind, it's hard to play with them, and it's hard to maintain a career after playing with LeBron. So we're going to take a look, and we're going to let the stats bear it out. Not sure if I'm right. After doing these stats, I have kind of a clearer picture of what it is. So let's get right into it. We're going to go with Miami, and we're going to go with Chris Bosh. I'm also going to round up some of these and round down some of these, and some I'm going to give the points after. So just deal with me, bear with me, and we'll get through this. This is a stat-driven segment. If you don't like stats, you can skedaddle. You can peace. I'll see you later on this day or with my boys when we go live. So here we go. Chris Bosh, 3 years before playing with LeBron. 2007, 22.3 points, 9 rebounds. I'm also going to do the points, and I'm not going to say points all the time. When I feel the need to say points, I will say points. So in 2007, we have 22.3 and 9 rebounds, Chris Bosh. In 2008, 22.7 and 10 rebounds. In 2009, 24 points, 11 rebounds. Those were the 3 years before LeBron came, before Chris Bosh played with LeBron. During the time he played with LeBron, which is between 2010 and 2013, he averaged 18.7, 8 rebounds, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 13 points in 2013, 16 points, 6 rebounds. So he dropped off a little bit there, as we can see. He did win some championships, but he dropped off. Now let's see. Fair to Chris Bosh, he did get injured, not injured, but he had the medical issues, and he only played 2 years after LeBron leaving. Actually, he didn't do too bad. He had 21 points and 7 rebounds in 2014. In 2015, he had 19 points and 7 rebounds. So I'm going to give a quick little synopsis about that. Seemed like he did extremely well before playing with LeBron, tailed off a lot playing with LeBron, but he did get the 2 rings. And afterwards, we all know what happened with this injury and everything and the medical issues. But it seemed like he was on path to actually do well after LeBron. Next, we're going to move on to Dwyane Wade. 3 years before LeBron. So this is between 2007 and 2009. He averaged 24.6 points. 2008, 30.2, 2009, 26.6, which is pretty interesting. He was putting in that work. He was on the path of becoming Dwyane Wade and the great Wade that we've known. He already had a championship with Shaq, and he tailed off a little bit until LeBron came, but he was holding Miami down, right? During the seasons he played with LeBron, so that's 2010 to 2013, 25.5, those are points, 22.1, 21.2, and 19. So during those championships run, he dipped off a little bit, considering 1 year, 3 years before he averaged 30. So he did dip off, but he did win the rings. So that's a little thing with the gift and the curse. 3 years after he started to tail off, his age kicked in. But was it age or was it a lot of the wear and tear? Because remember, playing with LeBron, it's a lot of scrutiny. You're going deep into the playoffs. It's just a lot of media. It's just a lot of stuff on your mind that can just deal with you when you're not playing with LeBron. So those 3 years, so this is 2014 to 2016, he averaged 21.5, 19 in 2015, and in 2016, he averaged 18.3. And we all know he went on to Chicago, didn't do too well, came back and finished his career with Miami. So it seemed like it did take a little bit out of him, but once again, he got the rings. That's the gift and the curse. Moving on, this is where it gets a little bit interesting to me, which validates my point a little bit. Not totally, but validates it a little bit. Chris Love, 3 years before LeBron, so this is between 2011 to 2013. 26 points, 13 rebounds. 18 points, 14 rebounds. 26 points, 12.5 rebounds. He was on average to become, let's say, 25 and 15 or 25 and 14 for his whole career during the time he played with LeBron. So this is between 2014 and 2017. 16.4, those are the points, 9.7 rebounds. 16 points, 9.9 rebounds. 19 points, 11.11 rebounds. So that's 19 points and 11 rebounds for 2016. In 2017, because he did play with LeBron for 4 years, that was 17 points and 9 rebounds, which you can see a dramatic drop off in performance. He wasn't in the post no more. LeBron had him on the outskirts and on the lines doing what he did. So it's a little interesting. He did drop off. He became a different type of player, and he did get the ring, but he did fall off tremendously. 3 years after playing with LeBron, after all the hoopla and all of the stress of playing with LeBron, this is between 2018 and 2020. This is Kevin Love, 17 points, 11 rebounds, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 12 points, 7.4 rebounds. So he picked it up a little bit after LeBron left, but he wasn't the same player that he was 3 years before LeBron, meeting LeBron and playing with LeBron when he was at Minnesota. This is interesting, but we're going to move on. Kyrie Irving. He was a rookie. He started in 2011. 3 years before LeBron, 18.5 points, 5.4 assists. 2012, 22.5 points, 9.9 assists. In 2013, 20.8 points and 6.1 assists. So Kyrie, that was his first 3 years in the league. He was putting in work. He was starting to gather himself as a player. So during those times, this is interesting right here. During the time that he played with LeBron, so that's between 2014 and 2016, he averaged 21.7 points, 5.2 assists, 19.6 points, 4.7 assists, 25.2 and 5.8 assists. That was during the championship runs. He got a ring with that, but he was injured for the first one and a little bit of the second one, right, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the guy that actually got me thinking about kind of doing this list, because he refused to be that second fiddle. He wanted to do what he wanted to do and become his own star and not coattail behind LeBron and just ride his wave. So let's see what he did. I went with 5 years after the others. I went 3 years after playing with LeBron. I'm going to go 5 years after playing with LeBron for Kyrie Irving, because the devils are in the details. So between 2017 and 2021, we have 24 points, 5.1 assists, 23.8, 6.9. 2019, this is where he cranked it up and he removed himself and distances himself from the Kyrie that was in Cleveland. 27.4 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 6.4 assists. Started to add the rebounds because he got to about 5 rebounds a game. That's when I started counting them for point guards. In 2020, he had 26.9, 4.8, and 6 assists. 2021, 27.7 points, that is, 4.7 rebounds, and 5.3 assists. So this guy, Kyrie Irving, the one that said he didn't want to be in his shadow, made sure that you knew he can ball before, during, and then after LeBron. That's why he left to go to Boston, because of the stress and all the hoopla. He didn't want to fall into a lot of the other players that played with LeBron. And remember, I'm just naming maybe the top stars that LeBron has played with during his career. I'm not naming the Kuzmas, the Ingrams, those guys that were in LA, and a few other guys that were in Cleveland that weren't top, not stars, but their performances did either suffer before, during, or after, or got better before, during, or after playing with LeBron. So we got 2 more left. Just bear with me. We're going to go with Anthony Davis, 3 years before playing with LeBron. So this is between 2016 and 2018. In 2016, he averaged 28 points, 11.8 rebounds. 2017, 28.1 points, 11.1 rebounds. 2018, 25.9 points with 12 rebounds. Those are Gardy numbers. Those are Shaq numbers. Those are Kareem numbers. Those are any center that's been top notch in the last 20 to 25 to 30 years. Those are those type of stats. Now let's see what he did during LeBron. Remember, we don't have an after because they're still playing with each other. Maybe I'll get to that on a different video once he's done playing with LeBron and his career has maturated and he's moved on. So between 2019 and 2021, Anthony Davis playing with LeBron. 19, he averaged 26 points, 9.3 rebounds. 2020, 21.8 points, 7.9 rebounds. And 2021, 23 points and 9.7 rebounds. He did get a championship out the deal, but it seems like the stress of LA, the stress of playing with LeBron, and the injuries that he always is getting, Anthony Davis, that is. Like I say, he's either injured, about to be injured, or limping, or gimpy. It's always something with him. But you can see mentally, it doesn't seem like Anthony Davis is there anymore. He'll never come out and say it, but I'm not sure if he really wants to be there anymore. You heard it here first. If it comes out that it was some type of bickering and beefing, internal beefing between the Lakers, LeBron and AD, you heard it here first. He just doesn't seem happy. He doesn't seem like the same player even when he's on the court. Feel me? So finally, I'm going to do this one. It's Russell Westbrook. He's only been playing with LeBron for 1 year, but I just want you to see what it takes on you playing with LeBron, and I have to say, playing in LA as well. So 3 years before LeBron, in 2018 with OKC, Russell Westbrook averaged 22.9 points, 11 rebounds, and 10.7 assists. In 2019 with Houston, he averaged 27.2 points, 7.9 assists, and 27.2 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 7 assists. Forgive me. In 2020 with Washington, before he came to LA, he averaged 22.2 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 11.7 assists. Let's see what the pressures of playing with LeBron and playing in LA did to Russell Westbrook. In 2021, so that's this year, this season and last season. No, this season. Yeah, this season in the beginning of the, all right, this season, 2021, 18 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 7.2 assists, which aren't bad numbers. But when you get to this point, he has 250 plus turnovers on a year, which is an average of 1.4 turnovers per game, which leads the league. And as we all seen on the news and on sports and all this, and Westbrook and that and this, he's not doing too well, and he's not faring too well mentally about it. So this might be his last year. They couldn't get rid of him. They didn't want to trade him. I think because no one wanted that Gardy contract, and they couldn't slide him to someone else's books. It just wasn't happening. So they had to keep him. But he's definitely going to be gone, either him, Anthony Davis, or you never know, LeBron might just decide to get on out of there because they done traded a lot of the younger parts, and everyone's old there, and they're just putting in plug-ins to try to make a roster to get LeBron another ring. So that was pretty interesting. To me, that's the gift and the curse of LeBron James. You're good enough before he gets there that he wants to play with you. Then you play with him. You're going to make deep playoff runs and most of the time get to the championship. But it's going to be a lot of stress. If you don't win that championship, your numbers are going to go down. And eventually he's going to get rid of you or leave. Now, this is no knock on LeBron. We're just going back, looking through history and seeing the stats of people who played with him and superstars that played with him and see what they did before, during, and after. He will get you a ring. He'll get you there. But you won't be the player that you were before you started playing with him after you play with him. That's what these stats to me bear out. But I have to say, if you're a superstar like Dwyane Wade, it seemed like it didn't really matter. He was going to put up those points because he's an all-time great. But for people like Chris Love and Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, it's going to hurt him in ways. It's going to hurt him in a lot of ways. Kyrie is one player that seems like he's like, no, I'm not going to let this happen. I'm gonna make sure that I get my numbers after leaving him to show people that it was me as well that made that team as great. You understand what I'm saying? And as far as Russell Westbrook, what can you say? They picked him, they made that bed, and they have to lie in it. So to me, I have to say, before doing this, I was 100% saying, no, playing with him, he's going to drink. Not all the time. I think you have to look deep inside that person, or that person has to look deep inside themselves and say, I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to be the player that I was before meeting him, even though my stats and everything went down. At times, I became a different player, like Chris Bosh. He became a jump shooter when he had a post game. Chris Love as well had a post game, became a spot shooter to give LeBron space to operate. But you have to make sure after that you still can hold the credit or have the credit that you were a great player before you came and seen him. And I'm going to continue to do that. So to me, that's the gift and the curse of playing with LeBron James. And I have to say, looking at what he did for them during, he's a bad man. I particularly don't love him, but I love basketball. LeBron's a bad man. You just have to make sure that you're ready to be the same player that you were before playing with him, after playing with him. That's the gift and the curse of LeBron James. And I'm Shawn Mack.
Yeah, I'm with you. Just as soon as I finish getting the word out about the one thing more important. The brothers who made the Matrix are ladies now. They're ladies.
Just one of them?
That's the thing. It's both of them. What are the chances? What are the chances? The brothers who made the Matrix are ladies now.
I'm going to let that ride. I loved it. I'm Shawn Mack, and this is Sports Fans. Peace.